Okay, circles with completing the square. So we're on notes and practice. We have previously learned that if we are given the equation of a circle in center radius form, that is x minus h quantity squared. Ooh, what happened? Oh, yeah. Look at me, I was actually organized. Okay. All right, so that's x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That is simple to identify the radius and the center. So that is stuff we've already learned. Now we'll be given equations in general form and convert them to center radius form and identify the center and radius as usual. Now, this is where the general form changes with completing the square. Okay. So, how do we write this? These are the steps. Write the equation of the circle x squared plus y squared plus 8x plus 6y minus 16 equals 0 in center radius form. So your first step is rewrite it so that x's are together and y's are together, and then anything that is a number should be on the equal side, okay? Rewrite the equation with the space after the 2x terms and space after the 2y terms. Okay, then add those two spaces over here. So if you look, you're going to be completing the square for this and this, and whatever you find here and here has to get added over here. So if we were going to complete the square for this part, we're going to take 8 divided by 2, which gives us 4, and square it, which gives us 16. So we would add a 16 here, which is right there, and then add it over here. Then we would do it again for the y's. So this will be 6 divided by 2, which gives us 3, and then we square it, which gives us 9. So that's where that 9 comes from. After inserting them with the blanks, you would add this up. That gives you 41. And then you treat each, you're going to kind of separate these two. Okay, and when you separate them, you are going to factor the x's separate from the y's. Okay? So that's where we get x plus 4 times x plus 4 plus y plus 3 plus y plus 3, or we just state it's x plus 4 quantity squared, and y plus 3 quantity squared equals 41. So again, when we identify the radius, again, this is just a refresher, we think opposite. So this is the negative 4, this is a negative 3, and we're taking the square root of that. Questions on the steps? Now let's actually practice these. How does that sound? That usually helps, right? All right, so looking at this first part, we have x squared plus y squared minus 6y equals negative 5. Now, the negative 5 is already on the opposite side, so we don't need to worry about that. But I am going to rewrite this. Now, the x squared part, there's nothing there being added into it, so we're just going to leave it as x squared. And we're going to add this to y squared minus 6y plus some space equals negative 5. Oh my gosh. Sorry, negative 5 plus whatever that space we find in orange. So now working with y, I'm going to take 6 divided by 2. That gives me 3. I'm going to square that. That gives me 9. So I'm adding 9 here and 9 there. So this will now leave me with x squared plus y squared minus 6y plus 9, and that's the part that gets factored, equals 4. So what's this going to be? Who can tell me? It's going to be y what? Minus 3. Quantity squared equals 4. So there's our form. So our center, in this case, ends up being 0, 3. And our radius is 2. Square root of 4 is 2. Questions on that? All right, let's try the next one. So now we have something with x and we have something with y. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 8x plus a space plus y squared minus 32y plus a space equals negative 263 plus the space from x. Yeah, sorry, I ran out of space, guys. Plus the space from y. All right, let's take a peek at this. So now we have negative 8 divided by 2, which leaves us with negative 4. I square that. That leaves me with 16. So I put 16 on both sides. For the y part, I have negative 32 divided by 2, which leaves me with negative 16. I square that. That leaves me with 256. Is everybody with me so far? Okay. Next part, I'm going to factor this. I'm going to factor this, and I'm going to just kind of combine all of this. So this is going to be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 16 squared equals 9. So my center is what? Who could tell me? What's the center? What's the center? What is it? I can't hear you. What? Well, let's see. Iana, what is the center? For what? 416. Yeah. OMG, it all erased. All right, well, we'll just go from there. So the center, 416, and then the radius was what? Got 3. Good job. Just as a recap, Yeah, I was planning on it. Are we good with this one though? Okay. All right, let's take a peek. Number 3. So again, we have x's and we have y's. So I am going to rewrite this as x squared plus, well, I don't have anything else, right? For x's. So I'm just left with x squared here. But for the y's, I have plus y squared plus 4y plus some space equals, I'm going to add the 12 to each side, equals 12. We're going to add in this space here. How we doing? Okay. So now this part is what gets factored, but I got to complete the square. So this will be 4 divided by 2 equals 2. I square that. I get 4 here, 4 there. So this is going to leave me with x squared plus, this will be y plus 2 squared equals 16. Is everybody with me here? Okay, someone tell me, what is the center and what is the radius? Let's see. Connor, what's the center? 0, not 2, it's close. -2. Remember, think opposites. If it's positive, it's negative because our standard form is negative. Okay. And then the radius, Rebecca, what's the radius? 4. Questions on that? We're going to skip 4 for right now. Okay. I'll show you guys what to do there in just a minute, but let's take a look at 5. All right. So in this case, if we take a look, again, this is it's very much out of order, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm still going to have my x squared plus 8x plus some space. But I don't have this 2y where it's supposed to be. So where am I going to put it? Who can tell me what happens there? How am I going to get this where I need it to be? It's adding, so I'm going to do what instead? These are the s. Subtract it, yeah. So I'm going to subtract 2y from each side. This leaves me with y squared minus 2y plus the space. And this is going to equal 64 plus those 2 spaces that I just added on. How are we doing so far? Any questions? All right, let's complete the square. Someone tell me, what is it going to be here? So it's 8 divided by 4, and then it's squared. What's it going to be? Sophia, what's it going to be for x? 16, very good. And then what's it going to be for y, Brendan? -2 divided by 2 gives you -1, right? And then we square that, it gives us 1. Okay, so now I'm adding in over here. I'm adding in that 16, and I'm adding in that 1. So now we factor. This is going to be x plus or minus what? Devin. What's the square root of 16? No, the square root. 4. So this is going to be x plus 4 squared. And then we have the y. Who can give me the binomial for the y, Samira? So it's, how would I write that? Y, what is it? What'd you say? Minus 1, very good. Equals, adding all this up, I think we know how to add, so I'm not going to do that, but it should equal 81. Okay? Now I need my center, and I need the radius. What is the center, Whitney? Can't you hear me? What's the center? What'd you get? What'd you get? 4 comma 1? What'd you get? Close, not quite. I agree with the 1. The 1 is correct. Look, if you look right here, we have a 4 right here. So it's supposed to be what? Positive 4 or negative 4? Someone help her out. Negative 4. And what's the radius? Broden, what's the radius here? 9. Good job. All right, what I'd like you guys to do right now is I want you to try 6 on your own, okay? Try 6 on your own. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Who is still working on 6? Anybody? Okay. Give me another minute. Anybody have any questions on 6 so far that I can help with? What? Did you create a pass? Yeah, go ahead. All right, let's take a look at 6. So again, I have everything I need pretty much over here except this, and I'm going to add the 9 to each side. This leaves me with x squared, which there's nothing else to add with, plus y squared minus 10y plus something equals 9 plus that something, okay? Negative 10 over 2 gives me negative 5. I square that, so I get 25 here, 25 here. When I factor, I'm left with x squared plus, now remember this gets factored, this will be y minus 5 squared equals 36. So in this case, your center should be 0, negative 0, 5, and your radius is 6. I don't know why I put parentheses around that. I don't know why I did that again. Anyway, now there's a couple things I want you to add to this. Now we're not going to go over 5, 7, or 8, but there's some stuff on your homework you should be very much aware of, okay? Now on the homework, you're going to be given a coloring activity where you are going to complete these problems. You're going to get this in like your standard form for a circle, just like we've been doing. But they're going to ask you, in order to know what color to do, you're going to have to find the center, radius, diameter. Who remembers what a diameter is? It's the radius times what? 2, right? So that's something you're going to want to probably add here. Just recall a diameter is a 2 times a radius. The other thing they're going to ask you for is a circumference. Circumference of a circle is 2 times pi times the radius. And what I would do here is just do 2 times the radius and tack pi onto the end. You don't simplify. And the last thing you're going to need is finding the area of a circle. And the same thing here. It's pi times the radius square. So just square the radius and put on pi, and you have everything you need. Okay? Questions? Make sure you have this written down. It's going to help. All right. All done? You guys got this written down? We good? All right. Let's watch home. Have a great day. I'm going to pass it out right now.